at the Oceanside Ridge Manor in the front area, Annie and Scott came to the door. And as they turned and faced each other, who would have thought that make-up sex isn't so sexy? Well, that was proven wrong. I'll say, I'll meet you at our home. Okay. And as Annie and Scott began kissing each other, and pulled back, and as Annie went and left the door, and as Scott closed the door, just as his mom came out of the living room, Scott turned and saw his mom there, a weird place, and as Scott followed Joanna to the living room, and as they went in, and he saw his dad there sitting on the couch, and as she went and joined him, just as he stand up, and they both faced their son Scott. What's going on? You tell us. Seriously, Scott? After everything she put you through, you're going back to her? Really? Meanwhile, at the Wheaton Ridge Manor, Emily is asleep in her bed. And as she turned and feel Kyle's body, and nothing's there, causing her to open her eyes. Just as Kyle came back in with a tray of food, and went and sat at the table, and as Emily sat up. Breakfast in bed. Just like our first honeymoon. Boy, that was really hard back then with my ex-husband lying to me about being my son's father. And as Kyle sat by Emily, thank God that got sorted out in the end. Yeah, right now, I want more of you. That can be arranged. And as they begin making out, and as Kyle got on top of Emily, and as he pulled his rope off and began making love to Emily once again. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the front area, Lauren came to the front desk area where Lindsay is, and she saw her. Lindsay, I need an update on the patient that was brought in. If you mean your husband, he's in room 145, but you can't go in there till the doctor gives okay. Who's working on him? I'm not liberty to say. And as Lindsay got her tablet, please excuse me, and as she turned and walked away, causing Lauren to have a flashback. She walked in Jesse's flat and closed the door. Honey, I'm home. Look, I'm looking forward to us fixing our marriage. And as Lauren suddenly see Jesse on the ground. Jesse! And as Lauren ran to where he is and got down and tried CPR on him. Come on. And as Lauren put her finger on Jesse's neck and soon felt Jesse's pulse. And as she got her iPhone out and called 911. Hello, I need an ambulance. Yeah, I came in and found my husband on the ground, possibly unconscious. Yes, I'm a doctor from the LA International Hospital. Okay, please hurry. And as Lauren hung up. And as Lauren looked at her husband. Hang in there. And as she thinking, who could have done something like this? And as the flashback ends, with Lauren coming over to the front desk area and logged in on the computer. Alright, time to see who's operating on my husband. Meanwhile, in the waiting room on the other side, Gloria, Jeff, Tyler, and Sharon are talking. I'm sure Kristen's doing fine. She's very strong and noble. I feel like it's my fault. Don't take all the blame. I have some fault as well. Look, you two. Kristen's a responsible person who can handle her own. She was almost arrested for something she didn't do. I, for one, glad that's all cleared up. And as Wynn came to where they are, and they all saw and got up. Is my sister gonna be okay? Meanwhile, in Kristen's room, Kristen's holding her newborn daughter with Michael there. What should we name her? I wasn't prepared. Please tell me you're joking. Well, I do got a few in mind. Meanwhile, at the Leaving Book Cafe, Dustin's putting books away. So Julian came to where he is. And he saw him. How's the job training going? It's going good. Alright, let's finish the application process and I'll have someone finish that. And as Dustin got up and followed Julian to the office. Meanwhile, at the Crestwood Ridge Manor in the living room, Tay is thinking. There's gotta be a way to save my best mate from her twin. Sorry, and as Karen Lee Susan came from the other room, and Tay saw. I'm afraid that's not gonna happen. Meanwhile, at the Oceanside Rich Manor in the living room, Joanna, Chris, and Scott are talking. What are you guys doing here? I thought you two were on your way to the hospital. We did. We just had a little detour. Now, back to you. Weren't you and Annie over? That's what I thought. So it changed. The fact of the matter is, I love her, and she feels the same way about me. Look, we just had a little Scott. She lied to you point blank about your grandfather. She had her own reasons. And as Joanna look at Chris, are you hearing this right now? Yeah, I do. And as they both face him again. I really don't get this 180. It's not a 180. I just realized my marriage is too important for me to walk away from. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the front area, Lawrence looked up information in the computer at the desk. Let's see there. There you are. It's a good thing I work here. And as Lauren exits the web browser, putting the screen back to the home page. And as she began to head down the hall. And as she walking down the hall, Rachel came and saw her. Lauren. And as Rachel came to where Lauren is, and she saw her. Hey, how's my husband doing? Is he gonna be alright? Well, that depends. What do you mean by that? And as Rachel let Lauren into the empty patient room. And as they went in, and as Lauren closed the door, and turned and faced Rachel, and she did the same. This sounds serious. It is. And what's worse of all is, I sensed this kind of behavior before. Meanwhile, in the waiting room on the other side, Gloria, Jeff, Sharon, and Tyler are talking to Gwen. Kristen's doing well. She gave birth to an amazing girl. That's great news. Can we see her? Yeah, I'll lead you lot right now. And as Gwen began to lead Sharon, Tyler, and Jeff, just as Annie came to the R, and they passed them by. But Jeff stopped and turned and saw Gloria, who didn't follow, and went to where she is, where Annie is. You okay? I'll be fine. You go ahead. I gotta talk to my sister. Alright. And as Jeff turned and head back down the hall to where the others is, while Gloria and Annie engaged in a conversation. What's going on? My marriage is back in action. That's good, because Thomas and I have no intentions. I'm not fulfilling the legacy with you two. And I just said that because I was scared of being burnt. Life's a game. You just have to play it by all means. That is why I want to make certain my marriage with Scott works. Meanwhile, in Kristen's room, Kristen's holding her newborn daughter with Michael there. Megan. Yeah, that was my grandma's name, and I promised her that I named my second daughter after her. You know what? Megan is a good name. So, from this point forward, she'll be known as Megan Graham Hamilton. I really wish we can be a family again. I know. So much has happened between us, and we have to let things stay the way they are. Perhaps you're right. And as Gwen came in, and Kristen and Michael saw. Michael. Oh, I gotta go. Your family's coming. I text you. And as Michael went and left the room. And as Kristen looked at Gwen. Thank you, Gwen. I don't want to know anything. And as Sharon, Tyler, and Jeff came in and saw Kristen holding Megan. If you lot would excuse me, I have work to do. And as Gwen turned and went and left the room. Meanwhile, at the Leaving Book Cafe, Julian's finished interviewing Dustin. I'm really impressed by your resume, and your work ethic is quite amazing. I've been working at coffee shops since my mom created one a few years ago. Do you mind I ask what happened? She got a call to come here for unknown reasons, and for that, she decided to close the coffee house. I'm sorry to hear that. Dude, it's cool. Okay, come in tomorrow and you'll be on schedule. And as Dustin and Julian got up, and as they shook hands, welcome aboard. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I know you won't. And as Dustin went and left the office, just as Lucy came in, and Julian saw his sister. Do you know where Mom is? No, and it's really making me worry. Meanwhile, outside the cafe, Dustin went and got inside the taxi Prius and closed the door. and as the driver turned and saw Dustin, where to, boss? And as Dustin saw the address on his iPhone, and as he write it down on a piece of paper, and as he gave it to the driver, take me here, and as the driver got the note and turned around, he began driving the Prius down the street. Meanwhile, at the Wheaton Rich Manor in the bedroom, Emily and Kyle are lying in bed eating brekkie. Who knew all that lovemaking we did can make a person hungry? I am the police. Yeah, you do. And I want to thank you for being here when I need you the most. No problem. I'm proud to be with you, even though we've been through a lot. Yeah, we have. And I just want to say that I have no regrets, because I'm right where I belong. So am I. You know, I have an idea that can help keep my grandfather's memory alive. Yeah? What's that? By reforming our singing group. Seriously? And as Kyle set up, and Emily did as well. Yeah. I mean, we all get together and perform some of John's favorite songs at the Grand Pub. So, what do you say? Meanwhile, at the Crescent Rich Manor in the living room, Taya and Carrie Susan are talking. Well, look who it is. The person who played me like a fool. Seems you are, since your career's about to go up smokes. So it was you who framed me for trying to kill Vanessa wrong. That was all you, my dear. All I did is make certain you kept your word, and as Tay got her bag and her iPhone. Your game is over. You don't want to push me, because I will have your friend killed with one phone call. What do you want? You see, by the way, you and I are the only ones seeing that Kristen's at the hospital, and Rich keeps Sharon occupied, and Tristan's busy, and Olivia got her drama all, and Tanya the ex, so I will take you down. I'm afraid you're too late, because I already sealed your fate. And once you're gone, I wipe out the rest of your family. Meanwhile, at the Crescent Rich Manor in the living room, Taya and Carrie Susan are talking. Do one now. You heard me. I want you out of my house. Now! You won't be here for long. Besides, Vanessa can't wait to see you get sent down, considering that both her parents died and all. I don't know what information you've been told, but they can't save the speech, because it's really tiresome. Just know your days will soon be over. Now, if you excuse me, I have work to do. And as Susan turned and went and left the room, and as Tay got her iPhone and called someone. Yeah, we'll see about that. Meanwhile, on the other side, Susan's eavesdropping what Taya said. Yes, we will. And as Susan also got her iPhone out and dialed Joanna. Meanwhile, at the Oceanside Rich Manor in the living room, Joanna, Chris, and Scott are talking. Look, no matter what I said in the past, I love Annie very much. Even though she lied, we're past that now. Annie and I owe it to our children to be strong. Look, I have to confess, and as Chris looked at Joanna, I kind of told him to find Annie and sort things out. And I'm glad you did tell me. Of course, I'm just hearing this now from my own husband. A lot has happened. It doesn't really make a difference. Look, and as they both turned and faced Scott, as much as I want to continue whatever this is, I have to run, but we'll talk later. Yes, we will. And as Scott got up and went and left the living room, and as Joanna looked at Chris. What? Really? Do you realize what you've done? I am trying to save our son's marriage, and as Joanna's iPhone rings, and she got it, and saw who it is and answered it. Not a really good time. I don't give a damn whether it's a good time or not. So unless you want to lose your job as you know it, meet me in the hospital in 30 minutes. And as Susan hung up, so did Joanna. What was that about? Consider yourself safe for now. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in the empty patient room, Lauren and Rachel are talking. Are you saying there's a chance my husband could be in the shadow realm? Look, I know how this might sound. Actually, it makes more sense to what's happening. I mean, there's no signs of injuries or text mark or anything. The question of the matter is, who's responsible for this attack on your husband? You recall someone doing this to you? Yeah, a few years ago. I was feeling kind of dizzy, and the next thing I knew, I awoke in total darkness. I mean, it was so damn freaky, I couldn't even believe it in my own eyes. Oh, I had my own experience in the shadow realm, and let me tell you, it's not somewhere you want to be. I cannot imagine who would do this, unless this is just the beginning of new danger to come. I have a funny feeling it's already here. Meanwhile, in the waiting room on the other side, Gloria and Annie are talking. If you truly believe your marriage will work, then it will. You know, fulfilling the legacy and being Annie, the legacy is bad news. I should know that because Vanessa and I were sucked into it by manipulation by our parents. It's different for me. Really? And how's that? I'd rather not argue about it. I just want to protect my children, and I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. Now, about you and Jeff. I heard you and him been on a little roller coaster lately. Jeff and I have been through a lot, but through it all, we have each other to count on in the end. That's all that matters, my friend. Meanwhile, in Kristen's room, Kristen, Sharon, Tyler, and Jeff are talking while Kristen's holding her newborn daughter. You all are just in time to meet Megan. Wait, you named her? Yeah, I did. Will and I have come a long way in a short period of time. I wasn't even aware you and Will were dating. When did that happen? Long story. Wait, did you two knew about this? My first time hearing this. Taya must have told you. Lauren did. Look, it's very complicated and I really don't want to get into it right now. I just want to enjoy seeing my precious daughter right here. And the spring came back in. Alright, I'm gonna be back for more tests, so don't do anything I wouldn't do. And as Gwen went and left the room again, while the others continued talking. Where's Mom and Dad and Scott? Mom and Dad are on their way, and Scott say he'll drop by later. Meanwhile, at the Leaving Book Cafe in the office, Lucy and Julian are talking. I believe Mom's not acting like herself. When did you start noticing it? When she returned after being kidnapped. Don't you find it odd that she appeared out of nowhere, like she was there all along? You don't think she would? Of course not. Did you talk to Vince? No. He's busy with his own dilemma. Whatever the matter is, we need to be on guard. We have to save our parents' marriage. The only way to do that is to find out what happened to our mom when she was gone, and I happen to know a guy who can help us. You mean the same person who helped you and what plan you did? Because I had my own reasons, but I know this guy can find out why our mom's acting like this. Meanwhile, at the Wheaton Rich Manor in the bedroom, Emily and Kyle are lying in bed talking. I think it's a great idea for all of us to get back together. Our group has really changed your life as you know it. Yeah, be though as it may, I became a better person than I was before. Frank, Wayne, Mimi, and Linda brainwashed you into believing you were someone else. Yeah, you remember we were the McKinley twins, wrecking havoc. I broke through in the end and be able to live that dream. And I gotta say, I'm glad. You think the others wanna join? Well, that's gonna be impossible with Brody being in a coma and all, but if we state our reasons to the others, I'm sure it won't be a problem. You do realize Brody is alive and came out of his coma months ago. Oh, yeah, and it's Kyle's iPhone rings, and he got it and saw who it is. Look, I gotta take care of something, but I'll be back. And as Kyle got up and started getting ready, and as he answered the phone, can you give me a minute? Alright, and as he put the iPhone on pause and put it on the table while he's finished getting dressed, just as Emily sat up. While you doing whatever you have to do, I gotta do some brainstorming. And as Kyle came back to where Emily is, and they began kissing each other, and pulled back, and as he went and got the iPhone and answered, hey, I'm back, and as Kyle went and left the room. Meanwhile, at the Sherwood Rich Manor in the living room, Michael came in, and as he has a flashback of him, Michelle, and David are talking. Seriously? So we're just saying, yeah, I am. I cannot tell you how happy we are till you say that, only with one condition. Name it. I want to get to know the rest of the family. Done. And it's a flashback in with Michael coming to the drink table, and as he poured him a cup of juice. Everything is coming along. Even though I lost my wife to that son of a bitch. No matter, since he had no clue that I'm really the father of my new daughter. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Great. What the hell? And as Michael turned and went and left the living room. And as he headed to the front, and soon arrived and got the door. And it's Dustin, who isn't pleased to see Michael at all.